914, 1012, 940, 941, 942, 208, 919, 103, 1060. And our color cubes that we've chosen, the 150, the 151, the 150. So here I was inspired by the yellow ochre hat, and here the cream with the blues for our background. So let's get started. Yeah, let's get started. The fun begins. The fun begins. So my lightest color will be up here. I'll map it up right away so I don't forget that this is lighter. If by mistake I go with a darker color, I will be able to recognize it. So our first pencil that we've used is the cream 914. Okay. Our darkest here is yellow ochre 942. So the bottom here is going to be yellow ochre. I know what I did wrong. I put my sharpener at the sharpest because I was sharpening some polychromos. I can't see my brush. And I forgot to put the sharpener lower for the Prismacolor. The polys you can go really sharp compared to Prismacolor because the polychromos tip is much harder. The Prismacolor is like soft like butter. So each have their advantage and each have their disadvantage. Okay, so I've gone in pretty heavy with my dark. Now I'm going to go ahead with a transition area. That way I can blend the next color in seamlessly. There. Let me show you what I mean. So if I start with my darkest color here, which is yellow ochre 942, and I do 1 coat, 2 coats, 3 coats, and then I go beside it with a very light coat. Where'd that brush go? Okay, so several layers and a very light layer. Then I go in my second color, which is Jasmin 1012. I go over the transition area, blend a little bit into the darker one area. See, we can hardly tell. We can tell this one is darker. It's a nice gradient. Okay, let's do a transition area. So this will be much lighter, just one layer. And our next color will be sand 940. So we'll go over our transition, a little bit over the other color here. And that's it. It's very transparent. Another transition area. We're going in with 914 cream. So over the transition area. And then a very light to finish off. That's it. Go back and just put a tiny bit here of the sand. And it's even less transparent. There we go. So that's what we're basically doing with our hat. So now we're going to our second color, which is Jasmin 1012. So we go in the transition area. We can go over the darker area if we want. Get more tooth out that way. When I woke up this morning, I didn't know I'd be coloring an ochre hat. But I'm glad I am. That inspiration is very nice. I'm going to color a transition area, so it's going to be much lighter. The next color is Sand 940. So we'll go over the transition area. So this is our third winter scene that we've done so far. So 2 in hannakarlzon and 1 in Joanna Basford's Christmas. The next one I'm doing is from Magical World from Joanna Basford. I do create a playlist for each one. That way you can just go in the playlist, have everything that you need to follow that page. For example, there were many, many parts to the mushrooms page in hannakarlzon. So to make it easier for you, I put them all in one playlist. They play one after the other. You can still pause and forward and backward. All right, so with our lightest color, we're going to stop just, we're not going to the end. We're just stopping right here. We're leaving a transition area, which is the lightest. Cute. I'm going to go back with my darkest, 942, and just go ahead and darken a little bit the darker area. Make sure there's a nice little contrast. There we go. And then with the 941 light umber, I'm going to go just a little bit over the lines just to accentuate a crease. With the yellow ochre, I'm going to blend out that umber, light umber. Blend it out. There you go. We're going to go into the hair. This is the hair, so right around the line with our light umber, just to say there's a tiny bit of shade there. I haven't decided yet for the hair what color, maybe white, since the snowman will be kind of a blue, right? So there we go, guys. Let's add a little bit more of the shading in the creases. We're still using the light umber, 941. All I knew when I woke up this morning, Jasmin 1012. I'm going to blend that out again. All I knew is I was coloring the snowman today, but I didn't have colors. I was like really thinking, okay, what color do I do the hat, you know? We just finished a lot of red and green. Do I want to go back to red and green? So I started looking at the color cube cards, and when I saw that card with the ochre hat and the blue background, I said, okay, yeah, that's cute. I hadn't thought of doing ochre, so it's a nice change. There we go. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. All right. For the background, I'm not going to be doing the whole background. I'm just going to be doing the closest part. 208 Indanthrone blue. Let's get that in here. Okay. So after that, we're using the 103 Cerulean blue. After that, the non-photo blue. And then we have the 1060 20% cool gray, which just a touch at the end of that. I'm going to blend the whole thing. There we go. See how pretty that blue is with the ochre? It's very nice. Okay, so now we know that if we do just a little bit of this all around, it'll be easier than doing the whole thing. But I do have another idea. I am thinking maybe of bringing in ink tints for the background. But what I want to do first is bring you to the point where you can say, okay, finished. You don't have to continue with ink tints. So with this, you'll be able to say that. And those that do want to go in with ink tints, well, we're going to have a look at that. For sure. So, the 208 Indanthrone Blue. After that, we're going in with the Cerulean Blue 103. And then the non-photo blue 919. The 90%, the 20% cool gray. I want this line here to disappear, so I'm going to try blending with the little circles and make sure that there's no line there. There we go. Mirror. My brush has appeared. Oh la la. Oh la 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 la. Qu'est-ce que je fais? Hey boy. Okay. There we go. Look how pretty that is. Let's go with the lightest one, 919. And go around the little pom-pom here. There we go. So everything is blended out with a 20% gray. It's a cool gray. That's very, very pretty. Now, if I did decide to stop around here, what I probably would want around the hat is for a very light color, because the top of the hat is white. I'm going to start with a 20% gray. And then with the lightest blue, 919. I went over a little bit. Let's see if we can just get it out with the yellow. That's okay. I don't have to erase. So the kids are not making snowmans anymore because the snow is melted. Let's go in with the 103 Cerulean Blue. Okay, I don't want to go over all of it because I want that to stay white. Let's get the Posca pen out. See, I was forgetting. So where I see a very dark line here, I'll go ahead and white it out. If it's not very evident, then I'll leave it, but there's a dot and a dot on the black line. I don't want to put too much because I want my dark color to stay there. If the door rings, I'm waiting for a delivery, so I'll have to end the taping, but I'll be back to you either today again or tomorrow. Okay, so I'm keeping that light, so I'm going to go back in with the 20% Cool Gray 1060. See, the Posca is already dry, it dries fast. All right. So if you want to go out just a little bit more, and if you don't like it, you can erase it. Gives it a little finishing touch. Okay, let's continue this dark area here. And second color, Cerulean Blue 103. So I'm probably going to go back to the color cubes tonight and see what goes well with Cerulean 103, 208 Indanthrone, and 919 non-photo blue with the ochre, and pick out some colors that go well with all of these. with the 20% gray. I'm going to leave just the end of the pom-pom there. I'm going to leave that free. It'll give it a little something, so blend all that together. Little touch-ups while I'm at it. When I go back in that area and I see a little something that wasn't quite well finished, I can just fix it before going on. Let's even this out. So I'm going to start. What I'm thinking right now is it's a little bit darker here and then it goes way lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and continue some dark here. So where the hair is where we'll start with the dark. Yeah, just adding that darkest line, I'm pressing a little bit harder. It does give it the feeling that it's advanced a little. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit for a transition area. Okay, the next color in our combo is 103 Cerulean Blue. Go a little bit further for a transition area. And then with our non-photo blue 919, go out for a bit of transition area. with our 20% Cool Gray 1060. We'll blend everything out. Okay, I can see that I'm going to need my blender, so I'm going to use the Caran d'Ache blender. Probably went in too hard. Okay. What I'm going to do with my eraser is some little areas. Well, I'm going to erase a bit more. I wasn't completely satisfied with that. I'm going to make sure that my line against the snowman is at its darkest. So adding the Posca changes the whole aspect. There we go. I'm going to soften that outer layer here with the, there. Often when I didn't like what the blending did, I'll go and just soften the edge with the eraser. Just soften that up a bit. It's a handy tool, I must say. I'm going to have to go in a bit more here. Blend it out with the gray. I'm going to go in a bit with the 103, just on the edge. Maybe a little bit on the top as well. blend it up with the gray. And I'll soften it up with the eraser. Now with that lightest blue, I think I'm going to take out an even lighter blue. The cloud blue. I'm going to sharpen it. I have to change that point to be a little duller for Prismacolor. So for my next sharpening, it'll be better. This is the Cloud Blue 1023. I'm sure some people will decide not to do this background at all, and that's okay. You don't have to have a background. It'll be just as pretty. And for those of you who decide to do it, well, you're going to succeed for sure. Maybe you're used to doing backgrounds also, right? Make sure that hat, the contour of the hat is nice and white. All right, let's put some little magic around here. That's pretty. Aww. So this is a cloud blue. So we're coming out with our cloud blue. So this is going to be our background. And if I did come in with Inktense at the very end, after the final, I'll see how it looks. All right. So we're back with the darkest 208 Indanthrone blue. Go out a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with the Cerulean blue 103. Just make sure my line is nice and dark around the Snowman. And then with the non-photo blue 919. Blend all that out. Go a little bit over for transition area. And then I'll go in with the gray, 20% cool gray 1060, blend all that. I'm pressing harder. Going out a little bit. Let's go in and erase that a little bit to make it softer. And then let's go in. So I can see that the transition here is a harsh line. So I'm going to go back in with the non-photo blue and see if I can erase that harsh line. And it is working. It's much better. And if I use the Cerulean blue 103 to try and get this transition looking a little bit better, just a tiny bit. Play around with it. Oh, did I get some blue on the carrot? I did, didn't I? Let's make sure that my eraser doesn't have any blue on it, right? So I just go over on top of a white paper. So now my eraser is a nice white. Let's go in with the Cloud Blue 1023. Let's go in with some Posca. So this Posca is PC1MR. It's pin type 0.7. I also have the other one that I like maybe a little bit more, but they're both good. PC1M instead of PC1MR. And the PC1M is a bullet shaped 0.7 millimeters. Again, at your local art shop, they pretty much all have Posca. Posca is used for many mediums, for many hobbies. Otherwise, you have Amazon. If you can encourage your local vendors, then I think that's always a good option. But there are many reasons why people cannot get out. So then Amazon is very, very, very practical. I'm not going to go out more than here, I think. Should I cover the candy cane or part of it? I'll see afterwards if I need to. Then the non-photo blue 919. Let's go in with the cloud blue 1023. Try and blend that together. Okay, the non-photo. Let's try that out again. As if I would need another color to blend these two together. They have a harder time blending in to each other. Go back very lightly. And then again, very lightly. So if you become a pro at blending colors together, you'll be able to color just about anything. And then with the, let's go back to the gray. Where's the gray? Here it is. I'm going to sharpen it, and it needs to be sharpened a little. I'm going to outline with the Indanthrone blue 209. Just make sure it's at its darkest here on the along the snowman. There. Gives it that little oomph. And the cloud blue 2023. All right. Okay. So I can tell here that I like what I see. So I think that might be the background. Unless I decide to go all the way to the end of the page, I'll see. But you could stop here for sure. If you've decided that you want to do it, and if you've decided that you're not doing it, that's up to you. Okay, that's looking good. I'm not going to continue the blue here. I could do it on this side because my hand won't be rubbing there that much. So I'm going to continue on this side here. I'll leave the rest because I'm always here coloring for, once I've colored all this, then I'll be able to continue this way. That way I don't dirty my page, you know. When we're finished all of the pages, I often forget to mention it, but you seal it with a fixative. This here, workable fixative from Karlzon. You go outside and you do one coat left to right, one coat up, down, and that way your page will not transfer its pencil to its neighboring page. And it should keep the colors nice for longer as well. So that's always the last step. Sometimes a good eraser is nice so that you can really get rid of whatever marks you've made. If you close your book without the fixative, then you just put a sheet of paper to protect the other page. Okay, so I went in with the 208 Indanthrone. Now I'm going in with the 103 Cerulean blue. along the candy cane here on this side. I'm going to go with the gray right away. And then with the Cloud Blue 1023, okay, with the non-photo blue 919, continuing my combo here. I've gone right on top of the gray, and it still stays very light because of the layers that I've just put down. Back in with the Cloud Blue to blend everything in. Back with our darkest 208 Indanthrone blue. Let's do all of the side here with one dark line there. And then we can go out lighter. Okay, sorry about that. We can leave the end of this stone uncolored. It'll be part of the frame. So with our dark color, we will frame these items. We'll stop right here, and we'll stop right here. Okay. The next color is Cerulean Blue 103. So what color should I color the candy cane? I'm going to go digging through those cards again and see what they propose. What ideas might come out of there. The non-photo blue 919. The Cloud Blue 1023. gonna go up to this corner here and go down and around. Okay. With the gray, I'll blend the ends out here. All right, so I'm going to stop there because I want this to stay clean. So I'll be working this way. So our last little bit, the Posca. There we go. All right. So I'll be back with part 2, probably tomorrow, but you never know. If this afternoon I really feel like it, sometimes I just need to color, so maybe it'll be sooner than you think. Thank you everybody for watching. Thumbs up, like this video, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Bye. Au revoir.